could I wake up next to you and it's in double figures? Look into your eyes like I'm looking into double mirrors. Could you make it any clearer? Everything's such a blur. It's not my turn, it's hers to get her. On a late night, coming home from way too many train rides. Face not as red as my face, I'm home at the same time. High real estate's fine, smoking like a dragon but don't chase lines. Hey, I haven't slept for the past week.
Hello. My name is Myrna Clayton. I am founder and executive director for SHOWAbility. I'm so glad you guys are here. Yes, I'm committed to being outside, and I've got a light that's the gloom to brighten up my image so that it's not dark. I'm in the shade. Hello. I'm excited to be with you guys today. We're excited to have our guest. But before I do that, I want to just kind of introduce you guys to SHOWAbility, because some of you may not know. We're an organization that empowers performing artists across the disability spectrum, that is born, acquired, visible or invisible. Anybody that wants to be on stage, whether that's singers, musicians, dancers, poets, models. We are about changing the stigma narrative using performing arts as our platform to do that. We know that it's the artists that are on the front line of social change, and so that is who we are. We want to be on this front line of social change because we realize that all human beings deserve the right to be in the spotlight. Hello. Now, before I go any further, I want to introduce you guys to our tech guru Gary, who's going to talk us through, just in case there's some challenges that you may have technically. So I'm going to be quiet, Gary, and hand it over to you.
Hey everybody, I'm happy to be here with you. I want to share a few things with you. I'm looking at it already. Everybody has their microphones muted, which I absolutely love. If you can let those stay muted during the presentation when you're not participating, that will help us keep the noise floor down and we can hear our guest. Second, if you have any questions or want to be recognized, you can virtually raise your hand and you can type in the chat. Even though my video will be off, I'm reading the chats, so you can do that. And third, if you get cut off, just log back in and I'll let you right back in. It won't be any issues, won't be any concerns, just quick and fast. Just come back in and rejoin the fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to just kind of also incorporate our producer, Maya Miller, just because she may want to say something to the group. She's viewing and in the background making things happen too. So Maya, did you want to say anything just in case before we kind of get going?
Hi, everybody. I'm just super grateful to be here, super excited by our attendance. Thank you all so much. We have amazing things in store today, and I'm really excited to hear what you all think. I'll be popping back in later, and of course, just kind of like how Gary said, I'll also be checking in the chat, but of course, we are also open to other ways of having you all interact and engage with this showcase today. So yeah, thank you all for being here. That's it.
Thank you. Now, we've changed the name of our masterclass series and called it Pathways. We started discovering last year that people were really intrigued by understanding how an artist got to where they are. And so calling it Pathways really speaks to the type of conversation that we want to have. And you guys, word of mouth is often how we find out about talented performing artists across the disability spectrum. And so we appreciate folks who can sort of expose us to the talent that's hidden in plain view. And so SHOWAbility is working to bring folks into the spotlight and change this lingering stigma narrative that has been around for centuries. And so Pathways, our conversation today, is a pathway to being an A-list performing artist, an A-list musician. And let me tell you, Question ATL is a blind rap artist and producer based in Atlanta, Georgia. You guys, he's self-taught on several instruments, began freestyling at the age of 5 and made beats at the age of 12. You guys, he's won over 20 beat battles, won trips to the Grammys week, as well as South by Southwest, and competed in 2019 for the Battles at the Beatmakers in Toronto, Canada. You guys, Question ATL recently performed in New York, in Harlem, with a live band, and at the Made in America Festival in Philadelphia with Tristan Jantz as part of the backing band for Becca Hanna. He's going to hopefully tell us about that because I'm not aware. In 2021, during the pandemic, Question ATL was featured in an article by the Recording Academy on Grammy.com, and is a founding member of the Musical Professionals Coalition called RAMPed, Recording Artists and Music Professionals with Disabilities. Other affiliations that he has, he leads a collaborative of other blind artists and producers from the US, Canada, and the UK named Blind and Famous, who collaborate and released a project back in December 2022. He's also a member of a nonprofit called Soul Food Cipher, which teaches youth communications and expressions through the arts of freestyle rap. And lastly but not least, you guys, he recently released his debut project called The Dream, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later too, and plans to release several more solo projects on a streaming platform. But you guys, I can't hype it enough, so I'm going to let one of the hype folks in the rap world do that. And so, Gary, share with us a little bit more about Question ATL.
All righty. Quick technical difficulty, but we are popping back in. Gary, let us know when you're ready.
Oh yeah, because we got to get the hype man. The hype man has to hype the artist.
Distinct pleasure and honor to introduce to you a brother who is an inspiration for a variety of reasons. Not only is he cooler than a polar bear's toenail, not only is he a member of Atlanta's freestyle organization flagship Soul Food Cipher, of which I am a member. Not only is he a member of Question and He Answers, the foes, that was the four of us who crossed over into Soul Food Cipher at the same time. He is an accomplished producer, an accomplished MC. He is a presario, a world traveler, and he does that with what Stevie Wonder would call inner vision. So in a traditional sense, my brother Question ATL is sightless, but in the universal sense, I swear to you, he sees in ways that we cannot imagine. One of the dopest MCs I've ever met, one of the coolest individuals I've met, one of the most dynamic, divine, and balanced spirits I've ever met. Ladies and gentlemen, please make noise like your life depended on it, and there's millions coming forward. Make some noise for Question ATL.
Woo, woo. Wow, wow, wow. And without further ado, this is Question ATL. You guys, before he comes, as he's coming on, I want to tell you that I first was introduced to Question ATL through my friend Alethea Lindsay, who is founder and director of an organization called the Ikui Creative. And they had an event over at Oglethorpe University Museum of Arts celebrating the launch of their second book titled Inside Their Studio of Deaf and Disabled Artists Reshaping the Arts. And you guys, Question ATL is definitely reshaping the arts. Question ATL, hello.
Hey, what's up with you, man? I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you. I'm so glad to have you on so many levels, I was so impressed with you and your style, the mere fact that you started at 5 explains why it's just such a natural for you. I mean, you just kind of vibe in, and as your buddy said, was like, oh, this inner vision, you've got some insight that folks don't even understand. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
That's my brother. He's a very intuitive artist. His name's Anon Negrio. I always got to show him that love, man. He's a big inspiration to me as well.
That's awesome. Now, hey, it's such a beautiful day, and I want to really just kind of start with asking you how you feel as a young man, young Black man in America. How are you feeling today, and how do you feel about all of your accomplishments to date? How you feeling?
Well, first, I feel real good right now because of that intro. Like, I really appreciate y'all just for showing the love. Love is is impactful. I'm losing words, but it's like anytime you show love, it's gonna be felt. And so like I feel nice right now. You know, the summer's starting, I feel empowered. I'm just glad to be able to get things done and be able to lend my knowledge and lend my input to a platform like this when I can speak.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. Now, because this is called Pathways, we're going to be taking some time today to talk about the process and the pathway of your journey.
Mhm.
And so, with that, now tell me this. It says now are you originally from Atlanta, or were you born someplace else and you came to Atlanta? Are you originally from here?
I was born in a college town, but I was raised in Atlanta. Like I'm from Atlanta. My mom from Atlanta. She just went down to the country to go to college and party. And you know what I'm saying?
I
She's
love it.
going
I
back
love it.
in
So
the
you from
city.
Atlanta. All
Yeah.
right, that's what's up. Now it's now the intro talks about you playing multiple instruments. Tell me about your instruments that you play.
I play keys the most because I make beats. I started off with drums though, and I feel like my knowledge of drums plays a big role in the way I approach music a lot of times. So I always give love to like the entirety of percussion, but I use my keyboard the most now, electronically in the world of computer instruments and VSTs and software and that type of thing. But I dabble in guitar. I DJ as well. I play drum set. So yeah, I try to get my hands on whatever I can. I want to learn more instruments as well. Like as I progress in music and have the ability and the funds to do more things, I'm gonna just keep putting my hands on more things, figuring more things out.
That's where that natural comes in. Now you started freestyling at 5 and beats at 12. Now what made you start freestyling? I mean, a 5-year-old freestyling, what's that about? Tell me about that.
It was just fun for real. Like, I just always loved music. Like being blind, anything that I could hear, anything audio, I just would attach to. So I had like little keyboards by the time I was like 2 and 3, and I would just be playing jingles off the commercials on TV and different things like that. So then for real, I didn't know what I was doing. When I couldn't listen to music, I would make up verses of my favorite rapper. I'd be like, this what they'll say. Like, since I can't listen to it, I'm gonna just make my own song of them. And then my mom, like, she's seen it in me from young. She just saw how passionate I was about it and how fun it was for me. So she kept me in studios in the city. And like one of her friends, like my big bro Nev, he just put on a beat one day and they gave me a microphone and I just started busting.
Okay. Now tell me this, because I'm not as familiar with the hip hop industry and the hip hop way of things. Now there's rapping and there's freestyling.
Yeah.
Can you tell me the difference, one versus the other?
It's a whole lot of opinions, but straight up, like
Your opinion. We want yours.
so freestyling is a form of rapping. Like when you rapping, you could be freestyling, you could be spitting something you wrote, you could be like just vibing to the beat, like on some melodies. So freestyling for me is specifically when you rapping off the top of your head. So you improvising, everything that you saying is coming to you in the moment. Like right as you rap, you just come up with the next line, come up with the next phrase, and just keep going.
Wow. Now, to me, I admit I'm old school. That's like poetry. Is that in that space? Is it considered poetry?
Yeah,
Or
I think all rap is considered poetry.
okay.
Personally, because all rap has a rhyme scheme. So like the same way that freestyle is a form of rap, I think that rap is a form of poetry. So it's kind of like a nesting doll, you know what I'm saying? Like, so in that sense, like freestyling is definitely a form of poetry.
Wow. Well, now with that, who are some of your influences? Now's the time to name drop. Who are the key people that have influenced you? And then who are some folks you'd like to work with if you could just kind of rub that crystal ball? Who would that be? So that's first one is who your influence, name drop. And then if there's somebody that you could work with that you would just love to, who would that be and why?
Yeah. My favorite rapper is Tupac. Honestly, like his charisma, his energy, the passion and his storytelling and the things that he always conveyed in his music just always drew me to him. And that's one of the rappers that like me and my dad shared appreciation for. He put me on a lot of his music when I was young. So like even if I wasn't around him, like I just be playing Tupac all the time, you know, soaking up game. And then like Wayne, Lil Wayne is like a crazy freestyler. I listened to a lot of his albums when I was coming up, and then I listened to him in the mixtape era. But for real, like I listen to so many people. Like I'm a student of the craft. Like every day I'm listening. Like real recently, like I just been on crazy Wu-Tang kick, like going back through all the Ghostface albums, Raekwon albums, just really showing love to the individuals. But I'd be like, I study like Miles Davis, I study Rush, prog rock. I like to listen to like Skrillex, dubstep, things like that. Like I just really like anything with good sonics and something that's gonna make you feel something.
Wow. Now you sort of went into a whole bunch of different genres, and which explains a lot of your influences. Now, if there's a person that you could work with today that you would be like, yes, I had made it if I work with this person, who would that be?
It's tough. I say Jay-Z, because like if I get a look from Jay-Z and then I'm able to finesse that into like a further situation of like mentorship and advice, like that's a person that I feel has achieved a pathway similar to what I'm trying to do. Like he set the mold for a lot. So like Jay, I feel like that's something that'll really pipe it up.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Now you mentioned we presented an artist that you said you most recently was listening to.
Yes.
And so let's tell me the influence of him.
Yeah, so we started out with a little bit of Ed Sheeran, and I actually recently, like yesterday, just went to see him here at the Mercedes-Benz, and it was like all blind people who went, so it was crazy. Like we were just mobbing through the stadium, figuring it out, going through there, getting our seats, getting our food. People's like, "Yo, what's going on?" But
wait, you said all blind people, so it was like a group of blind people that went to the event or collectively?
Yeah. A few of my friends in town to see the show. So we went up there last night and seen Khalid and seen Ed Sheeran and this lady Dylan, I believe that's her name. She's an opener from his hometown actually. So it's dope to see Ed, putting on artists and showing that love back to his city. But I've been a fan of his for like 10 years for real. Like even before he had music out, well, not before, but like when he dropped his first album here in the States, I went and found his old music from the UK, like his early EPs, and we're just studying. Like he's sick. Like his crowd control and his pitch accuracy, just the way he approaches all his music is dope. And on top of that, like he rapped too. Like a lot of people don't notice, but he actually got bars.
Wow. I'm intrigued by the level of acumen that you have in terms of knowledge, and I'm not so much surprised because you are a musician, because you are an artist, but I'm listening and I'm wanting to make sure that the other folks who are who are listening to you, all the idiosyncrasies and things that you're paying attention to with the artist. That's what we have to do when we're wanting to get to that level, is paying attention. Not so much, yes, we're a fan, but why are we a fan? And what about that person that makes us want to be the better artist that we are? And so I want to stop right now and give the listeners an opportunity to hear you. And so this is a performance tape of you performing and doing what you do best. And so Gary, can we cue up Question ATL's performance video? Is that possible for us to do that right now? Yeah.
I got one more jam for y'all, man. I know y'all with me. I'm feeling y'all. I can't see y'all, but I hear y'all. I feel y'all, man. This next one, man, this is about, like I said, Black excellency, man. We out here celebrating Juneteenth like we should be. This one right here is called Believe in Yourself. You can do anything you want in the world, man. We are real strong people. We can do anything. Set your mind to it. Get out there and go make it happen. Just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe in your skin. Yeah. Believe in your health. Yeah. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe in your tone. Yeah. Believe in your walk. Believe in yourself. No cap, man. Believe in your skin. Look at this blind man up on the stage. Believe in yourself. I did all this because I wanted to. I made this happen. Let's go. I'm just a man in the land of the brave with a plan trying to make these bands. And I still can't get a fair shake all because of my race, so I've been taking chances. PTSD travesty in our history. We was forgotten, neglected, abandoned. Whole earth still in love with the culture though. Copy the lingo and do all the dances. Damn, it's painful when you realize the damage. Racism is more than alive. That there is systematically branded, but cut that on busting off like cannons. We are now beating the standard. Used to be dreaming of stars. Now me and a man them reaching for planets. Believe it and plan it. Black man, when you feeling like quit, gotta know you legit though. They say all people equal, but they been mistreating us from the get-go. Can't quit, bro, it's just that simple. I've been flicking this stick to the end of a split just to calm my mental. Just went to get trip to the old hood, kicking with the bros, still OT pitching. No job for their profile, but they clothes still stuck in the system. Cut by the system. If you ain't done research, cut your opinion. Me and your kind just cut from a different cloth. This for the kids in the hood, holidays, no gifts, wondering if Christmas lost. Now you never thought we could get this far. Yeah, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Say it with me. Believe in yourself. Let's go, let's go. Believe in yourself. Let me hear that. Believe in yourself. Yeah. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Yeah. Believe in yourself. Yeah, man, my name is Question ATL. Go follow me everywhere, man. I appreciate y'all so much for your time, your energy, your vibes. Please engage with me, man. I'm on Instagram at Question ATL.
What? Believe in yourself.
Yeah, do that.
Believe in yourself. Boom, boom. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. And
Thank
follow
you so much for running that. Thank y'all for listening.
Yes. Follow you everywhere. Follow you everywhere. Follow you everywhere. Yes, yes. And so that's the message for the day. Follow you everywhere. That's what's up. Oh, that was so good. I was just kind of vibing with you. And it was the energy. I could feel the energy of the space. I could feel the excitement of the people on stage with you. The brother that was at the keyboard in the background, he was like, "Oh, wait a minute, let me capture this on my camera."
Yeah, I had a great time. Like even just watching that now with y'all, like I was able to even just feel that. Like I hadn't listened to that verse in a minute. You get like so caught up in the present, creating the future. I don't be looking at my past too much, but like it's that feels good. I'm really glad to share that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because also with the message, a lot of times people, just speaking about the whole rap game and hip hop game, people talk about how much negativity is there, or so focused on bling bling, or so focused on this, that, and the other. And your message, tell me the core of your message that you try to make sure that you see it in. Tell us about that. Tell us about the core message that's sort of the thread through your rap.
The core message in my music is that people are all the same, even in their differences. So I really just try to express whatever I might be going through in a moment. So in this song, like it's just I was in a real, like the country was in like a real palpable, painful time with the tension going on. And so like I just really felt like we needed some energy and some understanding that you sometimes don't need external validation. You don't need anything but like confidence and self-assurance to just go and get things done, make it happen.
Awesome. Now I want to go into this pathway discussion, and because in your bio you refer to yourself as a blind rap artist and producer. Do you promote yourself as a blind rapper, or how do people discover that you're blind in that respect?
I promote it front and center. I don't ever hide it. I don't use it. I don't lean on it.
Yes.
It's more like I'm an artist and producer who has done some things with some people you might know who happens to be blind. So it's always there, but it's never needed. It's like it's just a part of me. The same way I'm Black, the same way I'm from Atlanta, I'm blind.
Absolutely. Now, you have traveled and performed a lot of places around the US, around Europe, around Canada. How did that come about? And how did that come about, first of all? And then do you have an agent or a manager?
Yeah, my manager is my mom. I got shout out Mama Question. Like really, that's how a lot of things be coming about. Like I have a vision, I have a plan, and she works with me frivolously all the time to like get the details the way we need it to be for it to execute. Like anything that I'm doing, she's behind it, like making sure it go the right way, go how it's supposed to for it to come to fruition. So like a lot of it come together through family, whether it be something that me and her pop off, or you know, like when I went to Canada the first time, I was working with like some different management, but she was always still working with me too. So we ended up like going out there actually as a piece of like with a USA Today journalist. They like selected me as a contestant to follow. And so I went and did the battle through them, and just like through some relationships, went out there. But then I recently went back through my brother, Mac, who's a member of Blind and Famous. And we really are just like fam, because we always are all just sharing ideas and sharing opportunities. And if there is a time for one of us to plug in, then we're going to plug the other person in. So it's just about like building that network and staying true to your relationships.
That's amazing. That's so necessary. And it's an extended family, sounds like.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Awesome. Tell me about your project, The Dream.
The Dream is my baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to, it's dropped. It's everywhere right now. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Music, Deezer, Google Play, YouTube, like wherever you want to hear that, wherever you playlisting, wherever you riding, you know what I'm saying? If you at the crib, if you with your friends, like wherever you at, it's out there for you. You could even just tell Siri, play question ATL, you know what I'm saying? And it's my first project on all platforms. And it's really just letting people in to the first of my styles. Like I really wanted to show love to a lot of my traditional hip hop fans and my people that really started the game, like the styles that have shown to stay through and through throughout time. You know, like it's a lot of different subgenres in rap, but this is close to the original, close to the pure vibes.
That's what's up. So y'all heard it. Available on all social media platforms where you can buy, purchase projects. That's what independent artists do. We need you to support. We need you to put us on a playlist. We need you to make that happen. And so tell Siri, play question ATL.
Yeah.
I heard you, and I wanted to emphasize that. Now, I want to talk a little bit about your uniqueness. How do people respond or react to your uniqueness and to the fact that you're blind? Just if we can be candid and approachable.
There's a myriad of responses. It comes in a lot of different ways. Like I would say most often people just treat me as me because, like I say, I don't lead with it. I lead with my personality, and I lead with my goals in mind or with them in mind. So oftentimes it's addressed, and people might be like, "Oh, like you blind? Like you need some?" Like it's a lot of people are a little bit awkward about it at first because I might be the first blind person they ever encounter. So they'd be like, "Hey, do you how you like?" They don't really want to say too much about it. Like they don't know how to talk about it without offending me. They're afraid of offending me. So I try to just be like, hey, can you do such and such? Can you direct me over here? You know, I've learned to be very open and direct and learn how to advocate for what I need and what I don't need respectfully. I'd be like, nah, you know, I got this. And that's honestly like something I'm still working on, is like being like, hey, like, yeah, I'm cool on this. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna figure this out by myself type of thing.
That's what's up. Now, on the image that you have for us on Zoom, it shows you with glasses, and then you don't have glasses now. Now, I'm curious.
I just be styling. That's what it is.
That's what it is. Okay. All right. And I asked that because one of my favorite lines from the movie, Jamie Foxx's movie about Ray Charles, is that the guy slings these glasses and he says, hey, put these glasses on. I can't stand and look at your eyes. And I say to people, you know, persons that are blind, they don't need glasses. What do they need glasses for? They need glasses because of the general population, not because of them. And so I'm just curious about, you know, the whole glasses thing, and so it's styling. That's where you are. Otherwise, it's like you're not wearing.
For me, but I respect people's choice, though. You know, some people don't want to be asked about their eyes because they might have gone blind later in life, or they might just not want to talk about their blindness. Everybody hasn't come to a level where they are so open. So some people might want to wear the glasses just to kind of. So look, they styling too, but you don't really know what's behind that. And so
Sure.
it's just, you know, yeah, for me, I don't do that, but I've known people who wear them that way.
Okay, I get it. I get it. We know that in the case of accessibility on stage and in general, ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act, requires the minimum for building codes compliance. That is entering a building and going to the bathroom. Showability finds that stages, green rooms, and tech areas are not accessible. And if they are, it's really for equipment, not necessarily the human being. And so for us, you know, ADA is also kind of more sensitive to mobility issues and necessarily blind or deaf or sensory issues. And so that's what we found in our experiences. And so tell me this, is it accessibility an issue for you, and how do you manage that?
Fortunately, there's a lot of good people in the world. So a lot of times you go to the venue and there are people who are really good at their craft, you know, mix engineers or techs who are working around the stage. I was traveling with my bro in Canada, Matt, recently, and we were by ourselves. We had a guy with us who was DJing who could see fully, but he wasn't with us all the time. And the people would come up to us and just ask us like, hey, is there anything that you need? This is how you get up to the stage. This is how far you are away from these speakers so you can monitor yourself. This is where the edge is and that type of thing. I haven't done a lot of touring to where I could tell you like, this is how these layouts be versus these layouts, but that's coming. So get with me in a year or two and I'm gonna tell you how that goes.
That's what's up, because and that's on stage. What about in general? Because we have persons that have had not such positive experiences, you know, in terms of dealing with the general population. And I'm so grateful to hear you're positive. And I'm not trying to make it a negative spin. I'm just kind of want to be realistic with certain situations. And that's not to say that yours is not realistic. Don't let me.
Nah, for sure. You just like, if it's, you just telling me if it's some, yeah, I don't, the thing is, it really don't be a lot of people who come at me sideways because I don't give them space to.
That's what's up. Say that you don't give them space to. That's
yeah.
what.
I don't leave room for that in the way I carry myself. Like you're not gonna ask me no time. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been some people who have done that upon meeting me, and then they got like quickly corrected. Like I went to a beat battle one time, and somebody was like, "What? Like a blind producer? What?" And then like, you know what I'm saying, I won the first round, and everybody was like, "Damn, like we got to worry about that guy." So.
So you put your talent out front, but then
and my personality and my energy. Like if I couldn't make music, I'd still be this confident because it'd be something else I was doing.
That's wonderful to hear. That is so great. Now with that, shifting away to just kind of talking about further about your journey, what is your proudest moment so far? Because I know you got more to come, but what is your proudest moment in your journey?
You be having a good questions. I can't even tell you.
Because you got so many.
Nah, praise God. I'm glad you see it that way. But like, I be working.
Okay.
There's so much I want to do. It's so far I want to go. I feel like I'm just getting started. But I would say like, my proudest moments is just like seeing my mom happy with what I'm doing. Like seeing her like, yo, like this means something, because like she worked so hard for this and for everything. So it's like really that's a big part of the goal, is just trying to get her comfortable, get her safe, you know.
That's what
really beyond that.
Proud mommy moments. I'm for them. I get it. And when that's reciprocated, you know, you want to do it because you know you see the effort going in. That's what's up. That's a proud. I get that.
And it'd be a lot that like I didn't see for like a long time, and then it like hit you in the chest. Like now I gotta do it like twice as hard because I had no idea for a long time. So
I get that. Okay, well then tell me this. What is your craziest moment so far?
Can't tell you that on camera.
Huh?
I can't tell you that on camera.
All right.
I'll tell you a story though. I'll tell you a story.
Okay.
I got to smoke a little something with Cat Williams. I took a picture with him after this performance. I got to perform for like maybe like 15,000 people. or more at the V103 car and bike show. And when I got off stage, like that was blessed in itself. That would have been a day. But then like we seen Cat Williams and I was like, okay, I'm finna just talk to him. I was like, yo, when I get more famous, I'm trying to link with you and kick it. He was like, you don't gotta wait. Let's go to the truck. So I played on my music and everything. Like it was crazy. It was a vibe. He was like real cool. Like the way he be like on stage cracking jokes and just being kind of like just witty back and forth. Like he that way. Like he funny. That it's always on with him in person, but he chill. Like he was looking out for me. Like when we was walking over there, like about accessibility, he was like guiding me a little bit down to the truck. He was like, hey, like he kind of looked at my mom. He was like, how you say? Like it's a little step right here. Just go this way, go this way. And he was like making sure I was good. Like so with everything that he had, everything he had going on, like he still made that time to look out for me.
That's what's up. You have to know that Cat Williams is one of my go-to people. If I want to just laugh, oh my God.
Yeah, he was OG, he legend.
Oh my gosh, he is my go-to. Now, I know you talked about Jay-Z a little bit earlier, but what is your dream performance? How would you describe where you would be, who would be on the bill with you? Ooh. What would you be doing? I want to get inside your head for you to create your dream performance, because we're gonna speak this into existence.
Manifest. I want to play a 3 to 4 hour show and bring out all of my guest collaborators. Like if I had jams with Skrillex, if I had jams with Jay, Ed Sheeran, you know what I'm saying, Gunna and Cardi and Uzi, and just going through these different subgenres of the music that's taking over and running the game right now, and just being able to bring together different genres. And I would love to be playing, like, you know, I saw Anderson .Paak, he was rapping and playing the drum set at the same time. Like that's the type of vibes I'm trying to get on, and having my fam with me. Like there's musicians that I know who are extremely talented in the blind community. And I've always said, like, when I get crazy tours going on, I want to have like 3-4 keyboardists, 3-4 guitarists, just like the craziest band that people ain't never seen, and just crush it.
I can see that. I can see that.
It's coming. Yeah. Just it's loading. It's loading. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, I don't want to take everybody. There are people who are on that may have questions, and so this has been amazing for me. But I want to open it up just in case folks have some questions on their own. I don't know. I'm just loving. Does anybody have any questions for Question ATL? I mean, I see how many people are on here, and I don't want to, like I said, take it on myself. I don't know.
Yeah. So, hi, everybody. I actually have a question. Question ATL. I have a question.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
All good. So, and as other people who do have, just feel free to hop on camera or vocalize your question either in the chat or audibly, either one. So my question is regarding you spoke about, I guess my question is more so related to your approach in building self-confidence as an artist, getting clear on your voice, your style, and feeling certain of that when going out into the world, especially when you have people who, you know, there's these, how would I say it? These styles that are in, there are these things or ways of performing that are in style. And so my question is, how do you stay true in the midst of being in the midst of so many people and spaces that are saying you have to be one way? Like, how do you stay confident and true to your own voice?
I feel like that's the daily exercise. It's a muscle that you have to build up. And it's always a process. Like some days it's really on and some days it's really off. As in like some days it's real easy. And then some days you might have to look for a long time before you can find your way to come to a certain thing. But it's really about self-trust and just like keeping faith in yourself. And like the best way I found to keep faith in myself is by having a stronger faith in God, because when I fail, like that faith in God ain't gonna never fail me. So like, it don't matter what happened, like he always gonna win the fight. So anything could happen to me and everything gonna be straight. So from that standpoint, then it's like, all right, I could go out here and fail 10 times. And then if I get it right on number 11 and I'm still breathing, like, it's okay. But every day is not that easy. Like, it'd be a lot of days where you gotta like wade through different emotions. I deal with depression too. So like, you know, that'd be going on. Be a whole lot going on, but it's just about staying true to like so for real, like trusting yourself. Like if you think it sounds good, when you talk about new waves coming up, new inspirations and things like that, it's okay to take from these new inspirations and to incorporate that into your style, because music is always evolving. If you're trying to make Baroque classical music, it's going to be a real specific audience that you can only cater to. So you have to continuously evolve and update every single day, especially in this day and age of AI and technology and 75 streaming platforms. Like, you got to keep moving.
Yeah, word to that.
Now you mentioned AI and technology.
Mhm.
As an artist who is blind and using technology, how do you work with that? How are you, because many things are they have these books and things like that. So how do and also things are not, don't have braille, or they don't have
Oh
devices.
yeah.
How do you shift, how do you create your own space so that you can know what button is for what?
Yeah, so I use a screen reader first and foremost, which is a piece of software that comes on your laptop, your desktop, your phone. And it does what it sounds like. It reads the screen, and you can adjust how fast it goes, what it sounds like, you know, a few different things to your preference. And a lot of times after you use it for a while, you will adjust it to a faster screen, because a lot of the things you're doing on the computer, you're used to. You know, I make beats all the time. I mix vocals all the time. I'm using the same programs. So I'm not necessarily reading a story. I'm just skimming. So it allows me to move pretty fast. And then, as you said, you know, certain buttons doing certain things, it serves you, or serves me, in the case of being blind, to be very proficient with key commands and knowing all the ins and outs of whatever program I'm using.
Okay. Maya, there's a question from the audience.
Yeah, we do have one question from Tamara. She said, and which I think is a great question: where did Question ATL come from? How did you get the name Question ATL?
You know what I'm saying? ATL is for Atlanta. Please say the ATL. I always represent my city. And then question is a metaphor for evolution, because it's like, you're always thinking, you always moving. And in order to move in an intelligent direction, in an informed direction, you got to ask questions. So, you know, that's how I'll be moving.
Question ATL, that's such a heavy answer. I mean, the mere fact that it's an evolution. I mean, I'm listening to you and I'm like, how is this young man having such a very conscientious, a very weighty, not
Layered.
It's
layered,
because
yes. Where did it
I
come
just
from?
say it's because of a good mother.
Shout out for the mamas.
No cap.
Now, but let's go back. Let's go there. That's great. Yes, mamas, and those layers. Let's go in, if you don't mind.
Mm.
If you don't mind, because you know, just the mere thought. I mean, you're a young man, and so I can name a few folks who are over 60 who don't have those layers. Okay, and so folks who are over 40, folks who are over 50, who are not in the general population, you know, who are not, as well as the blind population, who are not at that level. And so I'm just curious as to, you know, what's, and it's so funny, you've probably been this way for so long that you don't even know where it started, you know. So I'm just curious about, you know, even that. You know, it's kind of like that self-analysis, like why am I this way?
Okay, yeah. Honestly, when you put it that way, it's actually not. It's kind of unfortunate. Like, my self-analysis started with depression. So, like, how do you climb out? Like, I will not stay here. So then I just started finding the tools like manifestation and speaking to yourself, like creating your reality one step at a time. I don't really like to say fake it till you make it, because I don't like nothing fake, but like it has to start with a belief, an internal understanding that you're capable. And so like, I was just like, I don't know. It was depression for real. But then I just started figuring stuff out.
Just being forthcoming, because depression is real. Depression is not unique to anybody. And to be able to say, okay, I've got to find a pathway that's healthy for me. I can't speak about health. It may or may not work for somebody else, but for me, this is the pathway. And so I think that is so self-mastery. So working on your own self-care.
It's a process though. Like it's a lot. I got a lot of shortcomings. So it's like every day I be criticizing myself a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody do. We all our own worst critic.
Well, as we're sort of winding down, I typically ask this question of everyone, because there may be some things that you want to make sure that people know about Question ATL that I didn't ask. And so if there's anything that you want me or want other people to know, in addition to where to find you, your social media platforms, let's be real clear about that. We know that your music is on multiple platforms, but we may not know how to connect with you. And so for sure that, but is there anything that I didn't ask that you said, oh, I wish she had asked that, or I wish I'd like to say this? Is there anything that you'd like to cover? I want to make sure I give you that opportunity.
I appreciate that. I'll just say this first. Like, if you hear this, you are the actor in your own movie and you are the director. So you got to act and move with that in mind, and like make your decisions with intent. Make definite decisions when you can, but give yourself grace when you can't. And also, like, I tap in. Like, if you DM me on Twitter, I'm gonna talk to you back. If you DM me on Instagram, I'm gonna talk to you back. Like, show love. I'm gonna show love back. I'm not no fake type of person. So it's all love.
That's phenomenal. I understand that there's another question. Maya, what is that someone has?
I just sent it. We had one last question, and I thought Question ATL, that was a really great note about, I work in film production.
Word.
I work in film. So like when I hear you talk about you are the actor and the director of your story, it's so true. And I think as somebody who is looking for my own release in the way in which, helping to bring, I work as a producer. So I'm oftentimes helping people to bring their visions to fruition.
Absolutely.
How necessary it is also to not forget that you have to be that actor and director of your own story as well. And so in align with what my mother was talking about around just maturity and things of that nature, somebody did ask the question saying how mature you are to be so young, and does your blindness create that maturity? And I thought that was a good question to kind of end with, for sure.
I appreciate that. I really appreciate, again, y'all just having me in the space and getting to speak to all of you and the questions. And again, just being able to lend to this and be a part of this. I've never thought about my blindness in that way. I feel like it has impacted it. My blindness impacts my life on like damn near every level, probably, because I live with it frequently and all the time. So, yeah, I think it contributes to it for sure. I probably would be on some more wild business if I wasn't blind.
I don't know, Question ATL. I think you are in your element, and people, when we recognize when you speak of God, and you have to be here in your existing state. Mm-hmm. It's necessary for the universe. It's necessary for the world, for you to be able to be on the platform, and for you to be able to speak your truth. We need your truth, and so you are operating on the pathway that is designed specifically for you, for your uniqueness. How do people connect with you on social media? Please give us that information.
Absolutely. Yeah. Tap in with me. Question ATL everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. My YouTube is the only one that's a little bit different. Question Official. I'm over there though as well, and I'm about to start posting some gameplays and some, you know what I'm saying, just different type of vibes to really show y'all what else I be doing when I don't be behind these beats and these mics. But yeah, Question ATL on all platforms and Stream the Dream.
Question ATL, the new project, The Dream. We're so very proud of you, Question ATL. Thank you so very much for sharing your experience on your pathway on SHOWAbility's platform. We appreciate you. Without any further ado, thank you so very much. Those of you that were able to join us today, thank you so much for spending your time with us today on this wonderful Sunday evening. We know you could have chosen a number of places to be and a number of things to do, but I know you had to hear what Question ATL was about. I already get that. I get it. I understand it. And so we appreciate you. Thank you, Maya. Thank you, Gary, for being here and doing what you do best. And so you guys, thank you so very much. We will be back here next fourth Sunday at 4 p.m. With an additional artist and understanding their pathway. So thank you very much. Again, give a shout out for Question ATL from the ATL. We appreciate you, Question ATL.
Love, love, love.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll see you all soon.
Cool.
2 hours ain't enough for me. I